So it became apparent after September 11, 2001, that huge portions of the world, constituting altogether much more than half the globe's population, harbor not only resistance to, but positive destructive hatred for the West. The fact that the West is perceived as the culture of modern science and reason does not satisfy the soul. Well, that may be true, but it's not satisfying. Well, science and reason, narrowly considered, do not exhaust the world of perception, understanding, and judgment. One of the things about the new atheists, which I found really interesting reading through their books, is how many surrenders they were making compared to the atheists of 50 years ago. For example, most of them now interpreted Darwin in a new way. Not ruthless competition, in which the strong eat up the weak, because they now had compassion for the poor. They were faced to confront the fact, although few say so explicitly, that in the United States, for example, about 1/3 of the working population works for non-profit organizations. They care for the sick, they help the disabled, they teach those with learning disabilities. They spend hours working with people who are behind in this way or that, and who need more help to become independent. Now, this is not exactly the world that Darwin predicts, a ruthless, cutthroat competition. Quite the opposite. There's something else going on in the human breast, besides those originally conceived Darwinian principles. So they've modified Darwinian principles to say that really the species that survive at a certain level are those that best learn cooperation and care for one another. Well, that's just proving by another way around, it seems to be, the truth of the Jewish and Christian view. That's what Judaism and Christianity have been saying for centuries. And it turns out it's confirmed. They also, Christopher Hitchens particularly, insists that science is not the only way of knowing. He knows too much literature, he knows too much poetry to believe this. And he's very frank about it. And he says he believes that in this world of our experience, one does often sense the numinous and the transcendent and the sacred. And he doesn't want a world without that. Well, we're far away from that flat materialist world of 50 or 60 years ago, of A.J. Ayers and other philosophers. We're treating everything as rather cut and dry and easy. I want to end on this last point and then just take questions. I know I'm cutting it short, but we just have to have questions here. Cardinal Ratzinger, now Pope Benedict XVI, is very bright. I always thought of him as one of the cardinals, the sharpest pencil in the box. And he challenged Habermas to a debate before he was Pope some years back, and Habermas freely accepted. And the surprise of the debate, because it got a lot of public attention, was that Habermas conceded so much about the limits of secularism and the debts owed to religion. He really meant Christianity and Judaism. He didn't mean all religions equally. It was clear from his remarks. And so people were surprised that he conceded so much. But on the other hand, Ratzinger said that, look, none of us, neither atheists nor believers, none of us today has an adequate view of the whole human race. There are whole cultures, whole movements, whole tendencies we don't understand very well. It's rather surprising how little about the human community we actually know. So we both have a lot of work to do to gain a more universal view. Speak for humanities. When you say the humanities, isn't it true that we still mean Western civilization? A little bit more. And actually, at the Rockefeller Foundation, where I worked many years ago, we started a program in the universal humanities, trying to bring literature and ways of thinking from other parts of the world into better knowledge. Well, it was a huge task. And then secondly, Habermas said, and religion needs reason in order to cure its toxicity. I mean, all religious people know other religious people who drive them crazy, by their beliefs and speech. I had an aunt in my family, I won't mention her name for fear somebody in the family will see this sometime, but who was just so religious, you know, it just made your skin crawl after a while. She'd answer the phone and say, "Christ has risen." Okay, you know, it's just a little bit more than I needed. And she was just so pious. It was, I mean, with her it was probably genuine, but it just seemed oversweet, overdone. But you get the point. So there, Phantom is a temple. Phantom is a temple. That's what the word fanatic comes from. There's a drift of religion toward the extreme, towards the fanatical, towards the departure from common sense and departure from reason. And that's dangerous to religion. So this is why Ratzinger is a firm holder of the view that it's only by two wings that the human being arises, faith and common sense. Faith in the sense of opening our eyes to the transcendent, not thinking we're just all locked in here. Opening our eyes to new possibilities and a new vocation. On the one hand, and on the other hand, common sense and practicality and verified procedures. They need each other. So that's what I mean by the end of the secularist age, the end of the literature of contempt from both sides, the end of the period of not talking to each other, the end of the period of condescension, and the beginning of a period of each one of us beginning to go, boy, there's a lot I need to know. And if I'm going to know it, I better learn how to talk with others. And if I want to talk with others, I have to recognize their inherent dignity and treat them as equals in dignity, and not just put them down. Otherwise, there's no conversation. Well, so that's my thought on the end of the secularist age, and I do think, I find in talking about this in some debates since the book has come out, that there are atheists and agnostics who are quite willing to enter into these discussions. And it is a new spirit that's starting to bring. So I'm hopeful that that will spread. Sorry for going so long. I really meant to speak 30 minutes, but I only have 50-minute thoughts. You know, I think I've been teaching so long. Anyway, thanks.